Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and oh boy, we got more controversies in the WotC world. But this time they gave the D&D folks a break while they come up with new ways to piss us off. Oh yes, this time the Magic world is pissed, and actually this really has nothing to do with WotC. Well, it's that Simpsons clip where she's like, Bart, and he's like, I didn't do anything. She's like, sorry, force of habit. No, this time it's a bunch of angry entitled liberals who, no matter how much money you give them, they think they deserve more. How about you try passing the drug test? Focus on that first. If you had better skills and you were easier to work with, you'd probably have a better job. And I'm going to say that right up front in the video before I even tell you the story, because I know these people are listening and I know they have very short attention spans because they're all mentally divergent. Bro, I'm autistic and you can diverge these nuts, okay? I don't identify as that. I'm a person first, I'm a man, I'm a family member. I got a stack of different titles I go for first before I pull out the oh, poor me card. Nobody should let their worst traits define them. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Now let's talk about these entitled liberal idiots. So, eBay bought TCG Player, and now TCG Player employees are unionizing. And apparently one business day after the wokers... Sure. After the wokers voted to unionize, somebody got fired, and so what are they doing? Blaming it on union busting. Now, I don't even know whose side I'm on. I guess I'll say nobody. eBay and their ridiculous monopoly abuse by acquiring, like, their only major competitor. I mean, what else is there? Card Shark? Certainly not Puka Trade, because I don't consider someone a competitor if I was sitting in eBay's shoes if they don't know how to do math. It turns out there's a lot of math and economics involved in running a card business. And Channel Fireball, I think, didn't they just sell or do something with their card thing? I know they got rid of their event section, or their event holding and tournament LLC or branch or whatever. I don't know. This is not good. If you look at the amount of fees that eBay charges, and they've been going up and up and up over the last 10 years, even 20 years, because they know they are so much less garbage than Amazon while still being pretty garbage. And they've had some of the most clueless, like token check the boxes CEOs that have no idea what they're doing and provide the company with no direction. They are a slow moving dinosaur. Their support is garbage and they're filled with scams. But a little bit to a lesser degree than Amazon, just a tiny bit better. Welcome to Silicon Valley. Get a monopoly and stop giving a crap. It's a two-step process. So I'm pissed that eBay acquired TCG Player, and TCG Player and really everybody involved in WotC brands are known to be hyper woke. At least the biggest ones, and at least the ones on the coast and close to Seattle and San Fran and, By the way, a CNN crew was trying to film in San Francisco the other day and they got like mugged or something. Oh, the last time somebody tried to mug me, they had a gun in their face so damn quick, I didn't even call the police. I'm like, I don't need that kind of drama. I don't need my name on a damn police report. It was funny enough watching them try to jump the wall into the parking garage. It's Wisconsin. There is a 100% chance you're getting shot if you try to mug someone. That's why it don't happen very often where I live. But yeah, things are a little different over in liberal paradise like Seattle. And there's some whistleblowing going on over at Card Kingdom too. A bunch of similarly entitled card sorters, where literally anyone with working fingers and eyes and partially speaking English, actually not even, I've sorted foreign cards, okay, toss that, can do the job. Zero skill. I mean, the level of concentration and like knowing to get up and stretch, I mean, it's not the easiest job in the world, but it's incredibly unskilled. It's the type of thing you would get a teenager to do because they just have that like mental fortitude and energy, not like, a 40-year-old that's like, oh man, I wake up tired every day and fix it with coffee. But unfortunately, if you run a business in Seattle and it's kind of moderately challenging in any way, shape, or form, and then your company's got a history or a reputation of being super far left, super woke, super socialist, then that's who applies there. No reasonable, sane people will apply there, and usually reasonable, sane people either move away from that city or get a degree and make money. Or don't get a degree and make money if they're incredibly smart. That's not what you get here, so they're all in hot water across the board. Just want to set the stage for that. So TCG Player workers, they decided to unionize, and there's all kinds of different stupid socialist crap rules against preventing that, basically. But I wouldn't put it past eBay because they're big enough, they'll just pay the fines. They do not want their acquisition that they just acquired to suddenly cost them, 50% more in labor costs. I'm pretty sure you could just let them unionize and then just not listen to the union, and the most they can do is whine and complain, stomp their feet, and strike, and you could replace them with so many scab workers so quick. Let them. Just let them group up into their own little group of people who sign off on this is what I believe and this is what I think I'm entitled to, and then you've got this nice little list of who to fire. I'm pretty sure that after they've already gone on strike, that's when you can fire them. Now, if they're like, let's unionize, and then you fire them, that's illegal, and that's what they're claiming now. But I don't know. I'm just going to read this. Chris Holt from Engadget has the deets on this one. I'm sure they got it from a press release, but that's what I'm reading off of. But I should mention that this article starts out saying this is the 4th unfair labor charge in the space of 2 months. Now, what's a charge? Probably an accusation. I think he's misusing the word charge. Charge would be a criminal charge. I mean, there's really only one definition. So the Communications Workers of America, which, what the hell does this have to do with communications? If that's IT, how about you bottom feeders get out of my group? Not that I'd ever join it. So they claim that one business day after TCG player employees voted to form eBay's first union last Friday, the company fired a worker for engaging in union activity. The CWA called the firing of worker Iris St. Lucie, please tell me that's an alias. Anyway, they called it retaliatory in the wake of the election. The union claims that TCG player management has escalated its anti-union war against workers. Let me just say, these suits are impossible to win. If you do certain union activity on company time, they can fire you. If you're found to be misspending 50 cents, you are fired. It could be seen as, well, maybe also this is it, but if they have proof that you did something wrong that's deemed remotely reasonable, and these people getting real loud and real bitchy about, socialist crap, you're probably also an abrasive, terrible person, harassing people, threatening people, coercing people, disrupting work, bending/breaking the rules, using company email lists to illegally promote, the union, every rule you could possibly break. It's always the most bitchy, whiny people behind this trying to organize it, and they will break rules. So the fact that it's a 4th unfair labor claim in 2 months, I'm surprised it's not about a dozen people higher, because that's who they have work there. So they say as a result of the vote on Friday, which passed, now 272 employees are now represented by the union. I also think that they might be stretching that number. You can opt out of the union. All the union does is pretend to be on your side and either be in the pocket of management or just be hyper-political and not really care about workers and only defend you if they like you or like your demographics, we'll say. And then you got to pay the union dues. So they just take more of your money to assure you that, oh, don't worry, we're totally getting you more money. And then some of the really bad ones, they'll go into the management and be like, no, this is unacceptable. We don't make enough. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll raise you to $21 an hour. And we're bankrupt because we couldn't afford that. It's not on the budget. They sit there and think that every single business owner, every single board, every single whatever, group of owners, partnership, LLC, all that they're just swimming in millions of dollars and it all goes to the top. Well, guess what? If somebody built up a business, risked their entire life's finances, worked 80 hours a day for 5 years to build something up, then guess what? Did I say a day, a week? I don't know. I feel like I worked 80 hours today. Then maybe they deserve a $250,000 paycheck a year or something, or $1 million. Or come on. That is such a long investment, long game, and long amount of work. They're not going to, no amount of money is going to buy that time of their life back, okay? They built something. They deserve it. But if they're ripping off their workers, treating them like crap, and as soon as this person, automatic raises 3% a year, this person's been here too long, let's just fire them and cover it up and make up a reason. I know companies that do that. A good union will prevent that. And that's where I draw the line. I'm not on anyone's side. I might sound anti-union. I'm just anti-socialist, anti-entitled lefties who think they need to get paid for nothing with their worthless background. Like I said, half of them can't pass a damn drug test. Half of them got all kinds of domestics and disturbing the peace and DUIs. Oh my gosh, these people, they're just awful, immoral, angry, entitled, defective people who can't participate in society without breaking laws and pissing everybody off and alienating all their friends and family. Miserable, hateful people that are professionally angry on Twitter, and that is their part-time job. That's who gets jobs at places like this. That's who forms unions. Now, back where I'm from, if you work at Amazon, you're just an idiot, okay? Why did you choose to work there given the reputation? And the answer is because you sure as hell ain't going to work somewhere else. If you want a real similar but easier job, you go make 20 plus an hour stocking shelves at night at the grocery store. And Wisconsin has a couple, I think, at least two, employee-owned, like, I don't know what you would call this, some unique type of company where, like, the grocery stores pay you partially in stock, and then if you work there for, like, 10 years, you can cash out, like, $60K. I know, because my friend did it and bought a house with it. The workers partially owning the business, that's the most socialist crap I ever heard. That's why you don't hear about them unionizing. Because they're already properly compensated and they're treated fairly. Now, usually when people try to unionize, it's against a terrible company. Now, Amazon is a truly vile company, but did you also hear that they're running out of people? Workers that want to work there purely because of their reputation. So now the word around town is if you want to be an Amazon driver for one of the many distribution facilities in Wisconsin, all you got to do is really just show up. They don't care what kind of priors you got unless it's like corporate espionage, theft, or like, I don't know, money laundering or what was it? I was going to say embezzlement, but I don't know how you'd do that. It'd just be outright theft. Like if you got a couple, gotten a couple bar fights, they don't care. If your credit score is so low, it doesn't even have 3 digits anymore. I don't think that's possible. It's fine. Amazon will hire you. It's like that last ditch, like I'm going to go work there. Like some countries have like government guaranteed work, but it's work. Hell, we got staffing companies like that back in the day, even before Amazon came in. You get paid same day, cash. It was all legal, It was temp work, but it was like unskilled. You show up in the morning sober, you got work in all likelihood. Real simple. It was like I just got fired. I came in drunk, third time got fired. I can't hold down a construction job, can't hold down this job. Okay, at least I could do this bare minimum. Amazon is like the new that. I'm not saying everybody who works there is like that. Sometimes it's just, whatever, got out of high school and I got the job. Or somebody got fired, somebody got downsized, they're like, whatever, it was open and I'm there and it's not that bad of a job, why rock the boat, I'm working there. So I'm not throwing them under the bus too much, but when they come to unionizing, that is going to make Amazon products cost so much, but Amazon execs and management make way the hell too much money, and they absolutely have a point. But Amazon just needs to, for moral reasons and for the good of the economy, go the hell away. They are selling so much knowingly defective, lying, fake stat, counterfeit Chinese crap. And then they pull this, well, we're just the platform, we can't block it. No, because that would take 10 seconds of effort and like $5. Can't have that happen. I mean, that would be like letting your employees go to the bathroom for 5 minutes. I mean, how much would that lose? If people waste 1% of their daily work day, well, then you'd have to hire 1% more workers, and you can't have those hyper-aggressive margins, which, for the record, they no longer have. If you want to buy something, just get it on eBay. Amazon's prices have crept up so much, and now they're going full-blown monopoly abuse with this Prime crap. And Twitch and how it like ties into that and ties into this and ties into that other thing. They've already been sued for ebook monopoly abuse and price fixing, and they don't care. They just pay the fine and then double down on how much money they give to the lobbyists that give to the senators. Okay, that's how they do business now. It's not about a union. It's about Amazon needs to go away. They need to stop existing. Just in principle, stop working there. Have some standards. Go to an interview on a weekend or something, or just jump on your lunch break on Zoom and go interview for something and see if you can get a better job. Really that simple. They already have enough problems getting humans to work there because of the way they treat them. And to me, that's why it's like, well, a union, why? Why bother? Just leave. They're a terrible employer to leave and work anywhere else. And the answer is because a lot of the people there can't work anywhere else. And they know it. So their next thing is, well, I'm a terrible person, but I'm not going to take personal responsibility. If that sounds familiar, that's right. That's lefty ideology. So let's unionize and blame the rich people, which, I mean, once again, they're not entirely wrong, but they're also terrible people. That's why when I say I'm on nobody's side, a really good union will protect against really bad bosses and management. A really bad union will sit there and bully them into bankruptcy. And whine and complain, and teachers' unions keep the worst of the worst teachers there because they'll threaten, watch out for the union. We've got to approve every firing. We think you're doing it just for the money because of the automatic raises. I don't know. And then you keep terrible, terrible teachers. Teachers' unions are just about the worst thing ever, and the second worst is the auto workers, where they're like, 60 an hour, seems kind of low to me, and then we can't compete with overseas makers, and then they tip over, make garbage cars, make garbage decisions, get too top-heavy, get too expensive, and then need a bailout in like 2008 or whatever. So there are bad companies, there are bad unions, It's not black and white, but generally I'm anti-union because, my God, just go work literally anywhere else. The only time I support it is like hyper-specific stuff, like specialized programmers that only know like COBOL or whatever. They could probably unionize, although they make enough damn money because they're just so valuable that people are willing to pay them, and they're good workers. But like, how many pilots and how many airlines are really in the US? That's one where it's like, that kind of makes sense. And yeah, air carriers, not the best companies morally. Very greedy, very whiny. But yeah, in America, all unions do is make stuff more expensive most of the time and let really bad workers stick around. So I'm against them. Now, if you're wondering, but when are you going to get back to this story? There's not much there. They're being accused for a fourth time of retaliating. Did they do it? Probably. Am I going to take some lefty idiot entitled socialist word for it? Hell no. Am I going to take a greedy giant national union called the CWA? Am I going to take their word for it? Oh, hell no. But what they are being accused of, and I'd love to see some actual evidence. I didn't see any evidence of, oh, they recorded it. They have it on video. They have it on a mic. It's probably not legal in that state because lefties don't believe in rights. But according to them, and this was their second unionization attempt, so this ain't, the first time around on this merry-go-round. The first one failed because unions are BS anyway. Among other things, the union that they're joining, the Communication Workers of America, which what the hell does that have to do with card sales and sorting? Nothing. Has accused the company of requiring employees to attend anti-union meetings, also known as giving them the other side of the story, interrogating workers, which walking up and asking a question like, are you holding a meeting? Do you need a conference room? Oh, interrogating. I mean, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. I don't know. I just go straight to, I'm sure the lefties are lying. Kind of a reflex at this point because I'm usually right. But let's see. They were interrogating and monitoring those who wore clothes or badges. Okay, counting them like what? That identified them as supporters of the TCG union CWA. The union they eventually formed under the CWA. What was the need for that? To do a sub-union inside of another union that's some whiny, greedy, entitled national union? That is just starting off on the wrong foot. And if you think that union, to get more union dues and to push their agenda, doesn't do equally shady crap and lie to people, how much worse do you think it was the second time around after the first unionization attempt did not pass the vote? What do you think they resorted to? What do you think they did to change people's minds, allegedly, to make it past the second time? I wonder. I'm sure it's all the big evil company, and this is very one-sided. Somebody should tell them that Magic the Gathering is going down the toilet. It has almost no active players anymore, and people are boycotting their paper products. So, maybe it's time for both of them to stop bitching at each other and restructure, turtle and hoard money, hold liquid assets, and prepare for a very, very rough ride economically, no matter how Magic the Gathering does. And I don't know how Pokemon's doing. Probably not as good as it was 8 years ago. Who knows? Really 5 years ago, but still. So they said that 272 people are now in this union. So probably 300 and some total employees. I've worked at companies with just under that. And I would say there was a hiring or firing or somebody quitting and then a hiring probably once or twice a week. That it's just turnover. That just is what it is. Especially with like economic stuff and people moving around and people getting better offers, so they think, at worse companies. So 4 people getting fired, all 4 I'm sure were contacted by CWA and they're like, what can we hit them with? You could be in for a lot of money if you say they followed you around, counted you, asked you about your t-shirt, this, that, or the other. Okay, now we've got a case. And then they've got their victim, they got their martyr, and everybody comes in and they're like, look at these 4 people, they retaliated, oh my God, you better vote pro-union this time, look what they're doing, you could be next, ah! And then it passes. So I'm sure they'll be happy paying their union dues while the union does nothing, because it's just a greedy, scam in my opinion. Unions in general, not necessarily this one, but probably this one. And then they do nothing for them because the whole card market is going down the toilet. And eBay wants to run an even tighter ship with higher margins because eBay is like Hasbro, and then TCG players like Wizards of the Coast. They bought them because they want to shake the piggy bank because eBay is perpetually doing terribly, just horribly. And they keep creeping up fees. They got rid of the eBay Bucks program. They got rid of a bunch of stuff. They barely are keeping up with how the technology should have been 10 years ago. And it's a bunch of cross-posting bots and non-English speakers pretending to be an American company and shipping you broken crap and then trying to cover for themselves and then changing names. It's absolutely awful, but at least they're a little tiny bit better than Amazon. I'm sure there's probably a poster up at eBay headquarters that says something like that. So once again, whose side am I on? Nobody's. Screw everybody involved. What an absolute joke, and I can't wait to see it all burn. I hope TCG Player effectively goes bankrupt and eBay loses mountains of money on them. Now you might be saying, wait a minute, Des, you don't seem very smart. You're the one saying, well, YouTube keeps making anti-consumer stuff and controlling the narrative and pushing pervy, lefty, weird crap to kids and tracking kids illegally with their advertising. But you work for YouTube. Like, 1/3 of your money in a year comes from YouTube. Why are you shooting yourself in the foot? It's because I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not going to cover for them just because I work there. I mean, I'm a contractor, I don't work there, but you know what I mean. It's the whole, oh, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Well, enough hands feed me that I'm going to call a spade a spade. Sorry. And if you haven't seen the 1 million+ subscribers just turning on YouTube lately, yeah, we're all fed up. And yes, I sell lots and lots and lots on eBay. Not as much as when I didn't have a full-time job, but I still do. I don't care. They can go bankrupt tomorrow and I'd just be like, whatever. I'll just put more time into ripping off casinos, which is a blanket term for it's legal, but you'll see. The video's coming. Finally got the footage shot. Watch for that, and don't join the union. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you on the next episode of Liberals bitching at each other and ruining each other's lives, and I'll see you guys next time.